Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us in our Friday series, our webinar series. And each Friday we have been focusing on more of AEP, Medicare Advantage things, and the past few and upcoming will be focused on cross-selling. So we have today with us Augusta Norris. Gus is what she likes to go by. She's the regional sales distribution manager at Medico, and Gus is going to go over many of the great plans and what a good company Medico is. We've partnered with them now for quite a few years, and they have many great products. Their MedSup is very competitive in certain pockets of Michigan, and they have a great hospital indemnity and some of the other products she'll go over as well. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know you're all muted. So if you should have questions, type them in the chat feature. You should have that capability, or in the Q&A, and we will check that as we near the end of the webinar, and we'll be happy to answer those. So Gus, I am going to give you control of the screen so that you can actually go in.
I'm Gus from Medico, and I am one of the regional sales distribution managers, and Michigan is my area. So I'm kind of up in that area a lot. And then we also do a lot of trainings online, like this one for the area. But today we're going to talk about what we have that's popular in Michigan, but also what's new with Medico, how you can kind of go about cross-selling those products through AEP season. So one of the best pieces of Medico. So Medico, the reason that we always think that Medico is for you, some great reasons to stay with our company and some things that we're seeing throughout. And it looks like somebody went in and changed my slide. But one of the things is Medico is an A-rated company, and that actually updated this year at March of 2021 to an AM Best. So what that means is it puts us in the top 3 rating categories with the AM Best company. And what that means for you is that we are just moving forward, and that's financially, that's partnerships, that is just across the board with our products and technology too. One of the things is that we do value you as their field partners. And one of the ways that we're doing that this year is by revamping all of those products. And that's what we're going to see today when we do look at this complete cross-selling model. To start with our products is the newest product. And just remember that if you ever have any questions, I know some of you found your chat box. You also have a question and answers box. So go ahead and use those. And we'll get to those at the end of today. I find that kind of works best usually. But one of the new products and one of the best products is going to be our Medicare Supplement. So it just came out on 8/1. We have some new ones coming out on September 1st. So you can see kind of in that like grayish blue, those are September 1st. So the ones that would probably affect you the most is like Ohio, maybe Pennsylvania, but Michigan came out on 8/1. And overall, Michigan is a fantastic state when it comes to rates. You're going to have Medico as your number 1 or within $5 across the state from what I have seen. Now, I'm also going to be sending out a follow-up email today and a recap of everything we have with all the slides. And in that, I will include what we call a heat map that shows you where we're number 1 and then where we're within those top 5 on the heat map. But also, if you use CSG or your My Enroller, you'll find those rates instantly. So with our new MedSup, some of the great things about this is the commissions are higher than what they were. So there's an increase in your commission. There's also an incentive program that we'll look at the very end today. Super easy to use on your My Enroller. Actually, all of the plans now with Medico do have to be used on My Enroller, so everything is electronic application only. You have new and improved marketing materials out there on the Medico Information Center website. You can go out there and pull those at any point. Also, agent services can help you get those. I can help you get to those as well. Extremely competitive rates. You do have a multi-product discount or a bundle and save discount with the dental policy. If you pair those together, your client will get a 5% discount on the dental policy. So right there is really encouraging you to talk about the cross-sell when you start talking about it at application, because it's going to end up saving them money. There's also no pre-existing condition waiting period. Also with the Med Sup, there is a household discount. So the household discount is 10% if your client lives with somebody over the age of 50. Now that person over the age of 50 does not have to get a plan. Yeah, we want them to, but they don't have to. All we'll need is their first and last name to complete that 10% discount. So great new plan, guys. So going into that dental, so right into there, how we're going to pair these together, what they look like. Everywhere that you see in gold is the new one. On 9/1, we're going to roll out more states, and we're actually going to keep rolling those states out until about the second quarter of next year. We hope to be in 40 states. So with that 40 states, it actually adds 7 states to our overall portfolio. So just a bigger opportunity for you to talk about the dental product. A very important piece to remember is that our product is a standalone product. So while it's awesome to cross-sell, you can also sell this to somebody maybe who does not have a major medical, or maybe somebody that's just a little bit younger. Since this starts at 18, if you're talking to maybe somebody who's 22, 25, around there, maybe even in their 30s, they might not have that major medical plan, or maybe their health insurance plan through work is not all encompassing. You could sell them in a standalone dental product. You're going to have 2 options. That's the gold and the platinum plan that we looked at. And these are going to be very affordable rates as well. You're going to find some of these rates, or actually all of the rates, in your brochures or your highlight sheets with Medico, because they are set already, and that is set by plan. It's not set by like age or gender or zip code or state, anything like that. So if you're looking at a gold 1000, you're looking at around $35. If you're looking at a platinum 1000, it's about $41. You can add a spouse and receive a spousal discount. So when you add that spouse, it's a 12% discount. You do it at the time of application. When you're on the application, there'll be a box that you can check for spousal discount. Once you do that, it'll have them add the spouse then. The only thing is their plans do have to match. So the plans, like if the husband gets a gold 1000, the wife also has to have a gold 1000 in that instance. So there's 2 opportunities for the discounts, which could equal up to 17% discount on an already very low premium. First day coverage at all levels. Again, applications are accepted electronically only, and then there's 2 options for rider. So you have 2 really great options to go ahead and add some benefits to their plan. The buy-up rider is going to add $1,000 worth of coverage right then. So if they get the gold 1500 and it's just not enough for them, maybe they need dentures, you could add $1,000 and be 2,500. There's also the carryover rider. So with the carryover rider, when they get to the end of the year, whatever they have left, they're going to be able to carry it into the next year. It will max out at $3,000. So the most that they'll be able to carry is $3,000, but that's still quite a bit considering how much the co-insurance that Medico is actually paying for them on the overall plan. These riders are either or, so please just remember that. Guaranteed issue underwriting, and then you see your billing options as well. With that, I'm going to go back just for a minute here. With this, on the preventative services, it's going to be first dollar also, so no deductible on preventative. Basic services and major services are going to have a $50 deductible. And then on the major services, for the first year is going to be 20% co-insurance. And then the second year and on is 50% co-insurance that Medico is going to pay. So they're going to be able to have coverage instantly on those majors. So if they need like an implant or they need dentures, a crown, something along those lines, they're going to have instant coverage starting as soon as they get it. Your biggest differences between the gold and the platinum plan here is that the platinum on basic is going to pay 80% co-insurance, and then the gold is going to pay 50% co-insurance. Those are your only differences between the plans, is that 80% co-insurance and 50% co-insurance. All right, so let's jump right into hospital indemnity. Hospital indemnity is going to be one of your biggest value adds to your major medical plans, and it's going to be one of your best conversations to go ahead and have during AEP. I know that sometimes your time runs short during AEP season with those conversations around the bigger medicals, the MAs, the med sups. But a hospital indemnity is going to add a lot to that product. That's going to keep your client coming back to you. If you think about retention rates, the more products you have in a household, the more likely they are to come to you. We all know that. But to break it down, if you have 2 products in that household, that client is more like is 56% more likely to stick with you for a lifetime. If you have 3 products, they're 95% more likely to stick with you for a lifetime. So a hospital indemnity is one of those that's almost an easier add to something, to a product and to that household to keep that client coming back. You do have a household discount. This time your client just has to live with somebody over the age of 18, and it's a 7 or 12% discount that they will receive. Simplified underwriting, so just 9 knockout questions on the application. They all have to be answered no. There's a 6-month pre-existing condition limitation. So that's something like asthma, because asthma is accepted. Since we do accept it, just the first 6 months of the policy, if they go to the hospital and something regarding asthma, it won't be covered, but after that, it will be. 24-month contestability period. So this one is sometimes the one that gets people, it's the most confusing. And with that, what that means is that for the first 2 years, if your client files a claim, Medico can go look through their medical history just to make sure it wasn't something they already knew about, or maybe the biggest one, there's 2 that we seem to have the most on, and one is COPD. People don't say that they have it when they do. And the second one is if a doctor has told them that they need a surgery or procedure done. People just say, oh, you know what, I just don't want to do that right now. And then they'll get a hospital indemnity plan a month or 2 later. And then in 6 months, they go to have that surgery. The doctor did advise them to already have it, and they chose not to before. So that is in their medical history. So make sure that's something that we keep in mind and that we're really explaining to our clients. That's one of those is a big educational piece from you to your client. Issue ages are 18 to 85. And the reason that there's a star right there is because we do have a cancer rider. And with that lump sum cancer rider, you'll see on here, there's 2 stars. It means that it goes up to age 80. That's so that it sticks with our standalone cancer plan. So overall, our plan is going to have 5 basics and 7 optional riders. And we're going to look into these just a little bit more, but those basics are hospital confinement, observation unit, emergency room, travel and lodging, and then inpatient mental health. The differences that you're going to look for here when you start looking at your hospital indemnity plans is how those are set apart. And one way that those are set apart is with the hospital confinement is if your plan is going to start on day 1, or do they have to be in there multiple days? Along with that is the observation unit. Do they get paid as soon as they go in there, or do they have to wait 6 hours or 12 hours? Those are things you're going to look at to compare hospital indemnity plans. Medico's is first day coverage and then first hour coverage. So no minimum hours needed in an observation unit. And then you have 7 optional riders. These are, you can choose between them. You could choose all of them. These are customizable really. You'll see that the ambulance rider and the urgent care have the little star by them too, the asterisks. That means that they can be added to a plan that is already in force. Those are the only 2 that can be because they don't have to be underwritten. So to look at these a little closer, the hospital confinement benefit, it's going to cover their client's going to choose the dollar amount. So that's going to cover their daily amount in a hospital confinement. You can choose between $100 and $600. Our most popular that we see is about $350 to $400. And a good rule of thumb here to write this is to look at your daily amounts in your area for a hospital and then add $50 to it and write a plan for that because it's going to cover your next couple years of hospital inflation. The $350 to $400 is also the most popular in Michigan. So that is your guys' area. So that's what I would encourage you to go with. Also going to pay for days 1 through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 21, or 31. You're going to choose the day amounts with your client. Obviously, 6 days is the most popular because a hospital indemnity is normally paired with a Medicare Advantage, and Medicare Advantage doesn't cover for your first 5 days. So you want to make sure that they have something that does. That can be thousands and thousands of dollars in those first 5 days that are not covered. Observation unit. Observation unit is being used a lot more through hospitals because they're trying to avoid the penalties from Medicare. If the client is going back within 30 days for the same diagnosis, they don't want to fill out the paperwork, they don't want to pay the fines. So they're putting people in observation unit for 3-4 days. We want to make sure that they have coverage for all of that. So here you're looking at no minimum or maximum hours required per stay, and it's up to 6 days per calendar year. So what you can see just out of these two is that your client's going to be covered as soon as they're in a hospital. And that is a huge factor because that adds up very quickly. Emergency room benefit, this is $150 per day for a maximum of 4 days per calendar year, accident or injury, and then they have to be admitted within 24 hours. So usually your next question is, what if they're not admitted? If they're not admitted, at least if they're over 65, about 95% of the people who go into the emergency room are then admitted. If they are not, they're in an observation unit. It's a rare day that someone over the age of 65 goes into an emergency room and then goes directly home. So most of the time, they are going to be covered here with the emergency room. That is one of them that you will see some revamps to coming shortly through Medico, because Hospital Indemnity is our next product to see some updates. The emergency room benefit is one of them that you will see some of those updates to. Inpatient mental health, this is $175 per day for maximum 7 days per calendar year. They just have to be sent there by a doctor and has to be a certified mental health facility. And then you have transportation and lodging. So this one is if you're out in some of those rural areas, this one's really going to come into play. This is if your client is traveling a minimum of 50 miles to receive treatment in a hospital or medical facility. They're going to receive $100 per day for a maximum of 10 days per calendar year. This can be very helpful for people who have to travel quite a ways to a hospital, because most likely they're not going by themselves. So the person going with them might have to have a hotel stay or all that gas money, the money they're spending on food while they're gone. This can kind of help reimburse them a little bit. And this is all your base plan. So when you go to do these, the only ones that you're choosing between is the hospital confinement, the day and dollar amounts, and the rest of it's included. So when they file that bill or their claim, this is all going to be answered by the claim that they're filing. And while we're on claims, when you do file a claim with Medico, especially hospital indemnity, the best option to do here is file a UBO4. The hospital can give you those. They just have to ask for them and they will give them on there. The UBO4 has all of the codes that are needed. So optional riders, these are the ones that you're going to either choose between. You can choose all of them, however you want to do this for your client. It really just depends on what their budget is. Now, the most popular out of these 7 is going to be the ambulance rider. The reason being, this is ground or air transportation. Premium wise, it's only about $3 a month on average. And this is going to cover a lifetime maximum of $2,500. And then it's up to 4 days per calendar year. This is one of your most important, if you think about it, life or death situation. You don't want to be the person driving another person there. You want them in an ambulance. So adding this to their plan can be extremely beneficial. The next one is the one that's kind of a 2-for-1 is outpatient therapy, chiropractic services. This is $50 per day for 15 or 30 days of outpatient therapy. So that's like occupational, speech, physical therapy. And then it's $50 per day up to 5 days for chiropractic services. So that's going to be like manipulations of the spines, adjustments. Those are going to be things that are caused from an injury, an accident or injury. So it's not just you woke up with a stiff back that day, so you're going to go to the chiropractor. It has happened because of another reason. Outpatient surgery. This is one of our most popular, so actually the second most popular rider. The reason being is that we're normally in the senior market when we're writing these. So if you think about cataract surgeries, that's going to be an outpatient surgery. And that's going to be, if they do one eye, they're going to do the other. So there's your 2 days per calendar year. Your client's just going to choose between the 4 daily amounts here. So $250, $500, or $750, or $1,000. Whatever is going to be closest in your area. So bigger cities might be different than a smaller suburb when it comes to the daily amount for those kinds of riders. So you might want to look at that too to help direct your client. Skilled nursing facility rider, this is $100, $150, or $200 per day, up to 50 days. And then you see that one-time restoration of benefits. So the restoration of benefits here is so the restoration of benefits here is going to be at 180 days. So after 180 days, the days are going to restore completely. So if they use 48 days, it'll restore back to 50 days in 180. So it's about 6 months is kind of what you can consider there. This one is one of the most popular. It's always up there. You also have to think that we don't coordinate benefits. So without coordinating benefits, you could kind of stack this on top of another skilled nursing facility. So with a Med Sup, since you have 100 days, you could start them both on day one. You can stack this on top of it and have extra money for your client. There's also a lump sum cancer rider. With this one, they can choose between $1,000 to $10,000 per lifetime, and there's only a 2-year look back. So they're only looking back in their health history 2 years. This is going to be the only one out there that if you have a client that maybe had cancer 5 years ago, that they can get some kind of coverage. Urgent care rider, $50 per day, up to 4 days per calendar year. Again, this one can be added to a plan already in force. And think about last year, all those COVID tests, they were done at urgent care centers. They can get their copay back by having a hospital indemnity plan. And then you have your lump sum hospital confinement rider. This is just if your client goes into the hospital, they're going to receive a lump sum on the first day of their stay, up to 3 benefit periods per year. All righty, so moving right into cancer. So we talked a little bit on the standalone product or the rider, but the standalone product here is 4 lump sums. It's 10, 15, 20, and 25,000. There is a couples discount. So if both people in the household apply and are issued a policy, they'll have a 10% discount. Only 3 questions on the application, so very high issue rate. And then we're looking back 10 years in their health history. The no reoccurrence means that it pays out in the lump sum and then the policy is depleted, and it is tax-free. Issue ages are 18 to 79. So great plan, a great easy plan to understand. And as you can see, we are available all across the United States really with this one. All right. So we've been through our products. We talked a little bit how cross-selling can be important with those ones and where they can fit into your plan and your portfolio the best. Our incentive program here is for Med Sup, and it runs August 1st through December 31st. And with every underwritten Med Sup, it's $150. Guaranteed issue and open enrollment are going to be $75. This is if you submit, you have to submit 3 to start qualifying. So if you submit 3 underwritten, that's $450 and then $150 on top of all of them after that. Remember that the commissions are also higher with the Med Sup too. So great opportunity to earn a lot of money until the end of the year. All right, guys, so we had some technical difficulties today, but thank you for being with me. This is my phone number if you need me, and my email address if you need me also. So I see that we have a question up here. Implants are covered on the dental plan. They're under a major service. Question. Okay, any other questions?
So, Gus, I'm noticing that the contact information is A. Ratliff. Is that your contact information, or is that the person that you want us to contact if we have questions?
Nope, that's mine. That's mine.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So I had you as Norris, but you probably have a different last name now.
Yep.
Okay. Good. All right. So no other questions? This is great. I love the incentive for the Medicare Supplement. And again, the Med Sup is very competitive in Michigan, and especially after the re-rollout or the back for Michigan in August 1. So we noticed some of those rates changed in August. So that's great incentive for our agents, and we hope to take advantage of that.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you for being on, and I'll have a follow-up email over to you as well.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Augusta. You have a great weekend, and thank you, agents, for joining today.
Have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.
Uh-huh.